shocked but not surprised because it is, once again, every election, it seems, the Republicans fall in favor with the Russians and are used either, as you said, wittingly or unwittingly by Russian intelligence to try to interfere in the election. You'll remember in 2016, Donald Trump says, Russia, if you're listening, find Hillary Clinton's emails. 5 hours later, they searched for them and fished them and hacked them and got them. The Mueller report said that Paul Manafort, the campaign chairman for Donald Trump's 2016 campaign, was providing internal information to a Russian intelligence agent and that the campaign was welcoming the Russian interference. Now we learn that there is a whole new scheme from 2020 to originally, I suspect, to interfere in the 2020 election in favor of Donald Trump, which is when this confidential source provided this information to the FBI. It is now coming out in 2024 because, as you point out correctly, Republican members of Congress are once again witting or unwitting agents of Russian intelligence peddling a false narrative that is Russian disinformation in an effort to interfere in the election and boost Donald Trump. It is shocking. It is shocking that 8 years later, we are still dealing with Russian interference and the Republican Party is still welcoming it and facilitating it.
I guess I wonder if you think they care. I mean, on one hand, you'd think after years and years of this, Republicans would be somewhat skeptical when given a plum piece of information that, just conveniently undermines the Biden presidential campaign efforts, right? It sort of seems like if it's a means to Republican ends, which is to get Trump back into power or to keep power themselves, who cares where the information or disinformation is from? Do you think that it matters to them that they may be unwittingly being employed by the FSB to suit Russia's ends as well as their own?
I don't, and I've been dealing with it for this entire Congress. The entire weaponization subcommittee that Jim Jordan runs is designed to undermine enforcement against disinformation that could interfere with our elections. That is the whole purpose of that committee, is to have a chilling effect on law enforcement or other government agencies that are trying to stop Russian interference. This is their MO. They will do whatever they can. And they knew this was false. It was fully debunked in the impeachment investigation that I led in 2019 by witness after witness who was in Ukraine at the time or was in the State Department or the National Security Council. These were Trump administration officials who all said that what Joe Biden did related to the prosecutor general in Ukraine was consistent with official U.S. policy in all of the Western world, and that it was bad for Burisma, Hunter Biden's company. Yet they get this uncorroborated 1023 form from the FBI and hold it up as the best example, the best evidence that they have. But I'll tell you one way, Alex, that they may be chilled, and that is now that they know that this information was funneled through Russian intelligence, through the FBI by Russian intelligence, and is part of a Russian disinformation scheme to interfere in our election. If they continue with this investigation, they are opening themselves up to a criminal investigation for conspiring with Russia to interfere in the election. That may be the only thing that keeps them from going forward.
Let me just follow up on that. Do you think that there is an appetite inside the Department of Justice to look into this on that level?
I don't know. David Weiss, the special counsel, is the one who pursued this case against the confidential source. You'll recall this information was provided by Bill Barr to a U.S. attorney in Pittsburgh to evaluate it. He then passed it over to special counsel Weiss, who's the one handling the Hunter Biden investigation. And now we see that special counsel Weiss fully investigated this. And if Mr. Smirnov is remanded, and it's being appealed right now, and ultimately if he cooperates, who knows where this may lead? He may have a lot more information, and I suspect the special counsel will just follow the evidence wherever it leads.
That's
But
the
there's
thing
no
about
question now. They know. They know. They know. This is this is Russian intelligence disinformation that is designed to interfere in our election. If they continue with this investigation that helps Russia do just that, that is conspiracy to interfere in our election.
Just permit me a moment to absorb the sort of potential irony of the situation here. This, what is being termed, the investigation into Hunter Biden that has yet to turn. I mean, people have various assessments of the merits of all that, but that could then make a U-turn and come right back to end up investigating the very Republicans who've been so zealous and interested in prosecuting Hunter Biden. Is that what you're saying here?
And yes, and it goes even further than that, because their House Republicans have taken responsibility and honor in their effort to interfere in Hunter Biden's criminal case and to blow up the plea agreement. And the only reason that this investigation is continuing, or at least one significant reason, is because that plea agreement fell through. And so, yes, the irony is if this investigation ultimately continued only because of their efforts to interfere in it, and then it comes back onto them. And look, we're far away from that point. I don't want to, make any assumptions or speculation that there is any evidence of criminal wrongdoing. The point that I am trying to make, though, is that we now know there's a plausible claim that they didn't know this was Russian intelligence information. I would like to know whether they did or didn't, and I hope Special Counsel Weiss does do that investigation. But regardless, right now they know. And if they continue to push forward with what is Russian intelligence disinformation clearly designed to help Donald Trump in this upcoming election, then they are complicit in spreading that disinformation.
Congressman Dan Goldman, Hunter Biden returns to the Hill, I believe, next week to testify behind closed doors at the House Oversight Committee. We will be checking in with you again soon. Thanks for your time tonight, sir.
Thank you.